This is Pat, and I wanted to go through the workflow. So I created this PowerPoint, and let's put it into a slideshow mode, and we're going to F10 or something like that. Let's see here. So anyhow, we've got let's see here. We've got a workflow for Fusion 360 and into our storefront, and so you know that we've got this website here that is tied together. It's our Shopify website. So if we type in Overnight Composites, this is the website here. And oh, hey, sorry about all the noise. We've got 3D printers running, so I'm just trying to keep the noise down. But anyhow, this is our website, and all of our 3D models are up here. So I need you to take it all the way out, generate these renderings, create the name. I'll give you the name when I sketch it up, and then get the Fusion files working with all this. So it's more than just designing. And so what I want to do is get you so you work all the way fluidly out into the website here. So let's just go and take a look at this PowerPoint. So the first thing I want to do is I want you to receive a sketch from me and the product design of the project, and then I need you to go in and you need to select a part number for the assembly or all the individual parts, and you need to enter a description. And then I need you to design the part, and you need to name it with the UPC code that you're going to get. Then I need to approve it, and then I need you to go back in and render and create some dimensions on the assembly and some exploded views and things like that with the assembly. So I'm going to take you into all that next. And then I need you to get a Fusion generates an A360 file that's a shareable link, and I'll show you all about that. And I need you to download the Fusion file and then put it up onto Shopify. And then I need you to generate what the price of the part is to make on the 3D printers. So you're going to generate a .stl file, and then you're going to upload that into the program we called Eiger for 3D printing, and you're going to get a price. And then I need you to calculate the cost and enter that into the website. And so I'm hoping that you can do all this stuff. And then you're going to log in and you're going to create a new part, and you're going to make the part like mine up on Shopify. And then you're going to generate some renderings, and you're going to set all the prices up in Shopify, and then you're going to test it to make sure it works. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to send you a sketch. So I do hand sketches on my iPad tablet, and I'll give you some general dimensions, and I need you to do all the designing. So this is for our 10mm internal connector, and the part is we're building a pyramid. And so the pyramid will use a bunch of these connectors with our standard tubing that we make, and then you're going to get screws and hardware from McMaster-Carr. You're going to use our existing tubing that we've got for our kits. And I usually call out tubing by the outside diameter. So usually the wall of the tube is 1mm, so the inside diameter will be 8mm. And then you're going to complete the design so this part fits inside the tubing. And then you're going to get it up on Shopify. So the next thing we're going to do is we're going to go to my Google spreadsheet where I keep all my part numbers. And so down at the bottom of the spreadsheet are the open numbers. So the next open number would be this 708744110039, and you'll enter in, if you need a part number, you're going to enter in the part name, and we're going to keep track of everything with these part numbers here. But it's actually a UPC code that I need you to create the part number with. And then you're going to design up the part. So here's this part for the pyramid. You have to create a new folder here. So you're going to go in and you're going to find the 10mm connectors that are round, and then you're going to add the main assembly's UPC code number here. So you'll add that number right there. And anyhow, so I'm going to take you into the design and show you a little bit about the design in Fusion. And so we'll leave this in the background, and we'll open up Fusion down here. And here's an example. I need an exploded view of this catapult. And so I've designed it all up, and I need all these little parts, I need an assembly view showing the sub-assemblies, and I need all the part numbers named, so I'm going to have to rename a lot of these parts here so we get it into our bill of materials that we've got on the spreadsheet. So I need you to go back to my Google Docs and start pulling numbers from here. So like up here, I think I've got the catapult. Yeah, the catapult assembly is this number right here. And then I need you to start adding numbers. And if we don't have all the parts in here, you need to come down here and start adding them down here. But the master assembly will need that catapult number as the folder. So whatever the master assembly is, you're going to put in, here's a catapult assembly right here. So I'll make this yellow right here. And I need you to go in and start getting your job is to keep me organized. And so these part numbers need to get assigned to the main assembly, and then we need to create a folder. So that folder doesn't even exist. I just started designing this thing called Catapult, and I need you to like rename all the part numbers. I need you to go in here and scroll down to our 10 millimeter connectors. These are all 10 millimeter tubes, and this is a 10 millimeter kit. And so you're going to come down here and you're going to go find this 10 millimeter connector directory right here, and you're going to go into round tubing. We make a square and a hexagonal, and you're going to create a new folder for this catapult. So we could do it right now. We could go create, and we could say the new folder is 708744109835, and I hit return. And now I've got a folder. When I open this up, I can save this assembly here. So if I regenerate all this, and I want to save it all into here, and this yellow thing means that it needs to get updated. And so it's all updating, but we need to move everything into these sub-assembly folders and keep all the drawings together and all the parts in here. And so anyhow, that's where that's going. And oh, it blew up on me. But here, let's just forget about the catapult. There it is right there. So I'm going to go in, and this is a part that I need you to design. So I had to create a pyramid, and I figured out what the angle was through some basic math. And so now I know that if you look at the top view, this is a three-sided pyramid that is a tetragonal, I think it is, or something like that. And each surface is the exact same as the other. So I went and created this as the shape, and I figured out what my angles were. So I went and I said, okay, what's the angle from here to here? And I get 70.5 degrees. So I created this shape, and then I went in and I modeled up this connector, and I wanted to show you the connector. So this is the connector that puts everything together. And so if I start, I can roll back my timeline down here, and I can start working through this whole thing. And I first create a sketch, and then this is a standard internal feature here. So if you measure this, it's just under 8 millimeters. So it's 7.9 millimeters, because the tubing might be a little bit smaller than 8 millimeters. So we give it a little bit of clearance. So every time you do an internal connector, we need a little bit of clearance on there. So the tube is 8 millimeters. But anyhow, I'm going to close that, and I'm going to start rolling the clock forward, the timeline. And I went in and I started building out this part, and I need you to design all this. And this, what we do is we drive a screw all the way through, and we split this apart right here. So this is, I think, a 0.5 millimeter split here. We're going to 3D print this, so don't worry about manufacturing. And we don't need any draft on anything. And so we come through and we create this. We join everything together. So this is the join command. So we rotate a pattern. And so now we've got a connector that's got the right angle. So if I go back here and I look at my sketch here, whoops, I go back to here, and I go to this sketch here, and I go edit sketch, and this angle right here is the right angle. It's like anyhow, it's less 75 degrees. So anyhow, I come in and I keep going forward. I go all the way around, and I roll this all the way forward, and I get this design. So I need radiuses put on things. Here's the little screw that goes in there. I downloaded this from McMaster-Carr. So if you go into McMaster-Carr right here, you can find a 3mm screw socket. I use these socket head cap screws. I click on those, and then I go metric, and I go 2.5mm screw, and then I pick the length, 25mm, and then here I download it. So I go in and I click on this, and I download it as a step file, and I click on it and I bring it into Fusion. I hit save and it comes right into the design. So anyhow, those parts are going to have to get brought in here. And then what I do is I put these joints here. So this is a joint where the tubing will mate right here, and this is called a joint. And I click on that, and I put it in the center of the edge where the tube butts up against this. So it's real easy for me to mate tubes on here and all that. So you'll have to learn about that in Fusion. And so now I've got the part done, and I ground everything. If you right click, you can say ground right here, and I create a selection set. I click up here and I activate this assembly, and I say create rigid group, and I create a rigid group, and it makes everything stay together. So I go yes, and everything is rigid group. So I already put one in here, but I can delete that, and then I hit save. And I also do a rendering of the assembly. So if we go in here, we can right click on this and say appearance, and then I go to carbon fiber and I drag it on there, and I can edit it so it looks, it's a small carbon fiber weave is the way our parts look when we make them. And then I go in here and I go animation, or excuse me, I go in here and I go render, and I set up my rendering, and I hit my top, my home, and I create a render, and I render it, and then I keep all the images, so I'll put a transparent background on it, and I render it, and it makes the rendering. I do a top view, I do a side view, and then I do another side view, and I render all these. And those are going to go up in the storefront, so I need all the renderings. And so anyhow, you may be using my license because I have unlimited rendering, but you probably don't. So we'll have to figure that out later. So then I go back out to model, and I right click and I say save or export. And I want to export as a Fusion 3ds file onto my desktop. And I put it into my WIP directory and I say save. And then I also go in here and I click on the part, and I click on that body, and I right click and I say save as STL, and I go OK, and I can output this as an STL where I can get my manufacturing costs out of everything. Okay, so let's just work on the cost, but I want to go in and talk a little bit further about the master assembly. So here's the master assembly, which I'm making the pyramid. I've already brought in some tubing, so I use this standard tubing that we've got right here, and this all comes in here. So what I want to do is I want to copy this. So I click on it and I go Control C, Control V, and I look at my top view. I'm going to spin it around. And I'm going to look at my side view, and I'm going to actually, let's just cancel this because we can just pattern this around. So let's just hit delete. We'll turn on our origin right here. We can turn them on down here with this. And we go in and we say view all, and then I go create, and I go create a pattern. Create a pattern, circular, and I select the components, and I select this, and then I say spin it around this axis right here, and it does it 3 times, so everybody's there. And now I can copy these these tubes in there. I go Control C, Control V, and now I can do my joint command. So I turn off my all my features and just turn on my joints right here. Joints, joint origins, and I go and I say J, and I pick this and I go J, and then I come down here to this, and we click on that edge where it's going to butt up against there, and now I've got that, and so I can spin it around, and I can pattern it around, and I go create pattern, circular pattern. I click the component, I select the axis, I got to turn my axis back on. And there you go. So that's the product right here. And so now I can turn off all the other stuff. So here we go. We've got this, and what we can do is we want to make an exploded view. So I'm gonna put it like that, and then I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna go Model. I'm gonna go to Animation, and then I'm going to explode everything. So I'm going to pick on Move, and I'm going to pick this and I'm going to pull that up, and I'm going to right click and I'm going to go, I'm going to repeat the transform move, and I'm going to go like that, and then I'm going to right click and I'm going to say repeat transform move. I'm going to pick out like that, and then I'm going to right click again, and I'm giving a lesson, a video lesson. Michelle, I'm doing a recording. And then that animation's done, and then I can go create a drawing from animation, and I click on it and I go, yeah, let's do this one right here. I could have you make us a template, create a new drawing, and we can just say this one here, length times width, and I click on this and I say OK, and so now it'll bring the exploded view in to the drawing, and so I need this drawing created. We want to give it the same name, so we're going to go and grab the, it already knew the name, and then we'll just come in here and we'll do whatever, 1 to 4, I don't care about the scale, and 1 to 2, that'd be better, there we go. I go OK, and then I want to create a bill of materials. Alright, so now it's creating the bill of material, or it's dropping the view in there. Okay, and I can right click and I can go edit view, and then I can put the lines on so you see everything. And when I hit save, anyhow, you're going to create a drawing, and I need the drawing created for a couple reasons, but you can save that, and when you get done with your design, you can send an email to me just telling me which part's done, and I can go look at it. And I I need you to insert a bill of materials. I need a top view. Oh, here we go. And then I need to do a regular view like that. And you just double click on the border to fill it out. If you could fill out the border, that'd be helpful. Put the drawing name over here and the description of the product here instead. And maybe this could be engineering. And so anyhow, I'm just gonna show you how the bill of material comes in. So I want to do a table, bill of materials table. And then move things a little bit and get this all cleaned up a little bit. The material needs to change to onyx, so you'll have to click on that. You'll have to change it in the properties of the part. And anyhow, so we're gonna grab this part number here, and we're going to save it as drawing number right there, and we'll say 150 10 millimeter pyramid. Okay, drop. And so now you can save it. Save as, save. And we'll just call it that number right there. The same as the drawing's the same number as the 3D model. And now we've got that saved. So then what I need you to do is to come in here, and I need like this assembly, or excuse me, this assembly put up on there. And so if I go back to model and I right click and I right click and I say export, and I'm going to create a copy on in my WIP directory, and then I'm going to move it up onto Shopify, and I say save. I'm going to save the whole thing. I don't know why it didn't save that. Save a copy as. Oh well. So then we've got all that modeling done, and now I need you to go into my Shopify store, and I need to get this uploaded. And so we're going to go in and like copy a 10 millimeter assembly, and we're going to build out this store. But we first have to calculate the price. So if I go into Eiger, this is my program for 3D printing, and I'm wondering if you can come in and import the part file in. So you're going to go to this one's going to go into let's just put everything into WIP right now, where we can make all these things and I can test them out, and then I'll move them into production. But I'm going to go and I'm going to go import, and I'm going to grab that part file, and I created an STL file. So in Fusion, I can go in and I can take the shape right here, this connector, and I'm going to say save as STL, and I'm going to go OK, and then I'm going to put it on my desktop. I've got a folder called WIP, Work in Progress, and I put it right in here, and I give it the name that it's supposed to carry all the way through, the same name for that part. And so I save it as an STL. And so I've already got that done, and now I'm going to go into Eiger, and I brought it in here. And I usually find a flat surface to flip it to, so I click on that, and it flips it over. And then I just say save, and it'll calculate how much material we're going to use to build this thing on the 3D printer. So this thing's going to be grown using our 3D printer. And what I need you to do is give me the material cost and the weight. It'll give me the total mass in grams, and I need you to put that into Shopify when you upload everything into Shopify. So you'll see it's creating the part right now. It's programming the 3D printer. So you'll just give me some costing, and then I need you to take it and put it up on Shopify. So this is this part right here. And I'm going to go copy. And when I know the price here, I'm going to put down Paul Raj. The part is going to cost 0.99 cents USD, and the final weight is, see it right here, it says 99 cents USD, 4.84 grams. So now that we know the grams there, then we can go to Shopify, and I'm gonna go into this part right here. I'm gonna go to log into Shopify. I'm gonna go to products. I'm gonna go to all products. And I'm going to type in, I just want to copy one of the old products. So I'm going to say 10 millimeter, and I just hit 10 millimeter, and I can find a part here. Let's just take like this one right here, and I'm going to duplicate it. And this one I'm going to give it the part number here at the end. So I always come out here and I put the part number on here, and then I'm going to put in the weight in grams. So I always want the customer to see the weight because that's the selling point. 8.4, and then it's going to be called an internal connector. So this is a three-way pyramid composite internal composite connector. And I'm going to delete this and I'm going to change it to 10 millimeter round three-way pyramid connector. And so now we're going to create a new product, and we're going to change the images. So I want to say duplicate, and now I need to go all the way down into here, and first I need to look at my price. My price is always 10 times the price that it costs to make it. So we're going to say this is $9.99 because the material cost was 99 cents. But let's just, we'll round it up to $10. I round it up or I round it down, 10. And then I put in my new UPC code, which is the same as the part number. I put that in there, and we have, whatever, we'll just put 10 in inventory. And now I need to change out the images here. So I'm going to hit save, and then we have to render images. And I'll probably end up doing them because you don't have a full-blown license. But I also need you to take this information right here. We're going to put it right in here, and we're going to put the name right here at the beginning, and we're going to call it the same thing as up top. Intended to join 10 millimeter carbon fiber tube. So we'll just replace this. We're going to go Control V and replace all this, and then I hit save. And now we have to program the Fusion link. So it downloads it and the viewer link, but I'm going to save that for a separate lesson on how to program this and do a hyperlink to the Fusion A360. But basically, when you create a Fusion 360 file, you can right click on it and you can say open in, here we're going to go back out and we're going to go to 1008 round. We're going to go to the whole assembly's right here, and we're going to right click here, and we're going to say we're going to share public link. And so then we want to share it on share the latest link with anyone that has this public link, and I'm going to copy the link, and we're going to allow it to be downloaded. And so I hit OK. And so this is going to be on our storefront. So now I've got the link, and I go back to the storefront, and I go into Shopify right here, and I right-click on my 3D viewer is my viewer that downloads it, and I right-click, and I say, I change the formatting. Oops. I I insert a link there, and I cut and paste the link to the new one in there, and we're going to leave it opening in a new window, and it'll open it up using that. So that's the edit link, and you hit save, and now that will come up on the storefront. So you can go out to the storefront and you copy this, and we go to our website to test it. We're going to go to the website. Whoops, not there. And I'm going to search for the file, for the part name. It should be up there now. And it's got the wrong images, but it's up there. And I click on this. And now if I go down to my 3D viewer, watch what it does. It opens up Autodesk A360 where the customer can download the file right here. So now the 3D file that we just designed is right here. So I want to show you this. So there's the part that you just designed, and they can download it right here. The customers can download it into whatever they want here. So this allows them to see it. So that's how I get everything going on the store. Now the thing that's missing, and I need to do a separate tutorial on this, but if you download our app in Fusion, you can download it right into Fusion 360. So when you have 360 open, and we have this app right here called Composite Connectors, it'll open up our store and it'll download it right into Fusion, so you don't have to translate it. And it calculates the cost and the weight that you just entered in. So that's for a separate session. It's more advanced, but I just need you to go and get me my 360 link so it opens up in A360 and get me going on the storefront. So again, if you go back to the home and you go to products, you can put the product number in here, and you can keep working on it here. So we'll have to change the images here, but I can do the renderings and do a lot of that on this end. But I just need the modeling done and all that. So anyhow, let's go back and take a look at the PowerPoint one more time, just so you're understanding where I'm going. So okay, step one is you're going to let's see here, animation. Let's see here, preview. You're gonna review the sketch. You're gonna receive the sketch. You're gonna assign a UPC code from Google Spreadsheets. I'm gonna give you a link to Google Spreadsheets. You're then gonna name the part or the subassembly, and you're gonna give it the UPC name. You're gonna design the part, and you're gonna get me to approve it, and then you're gonna move on and generate a small drawing for the assembly. You're gonna get me an A360 link, and you're going to download the CAD file and that we're going to upload it onto our store. We're going to go in and we're going to generate an STL file that we're going to upload into Eiger. I'm going to give you a login to Eiger where we generate the manufacturing file. We're going to generate the cost. We're going to calculate how much it costs and how much it weighs, and then we're going to go into Shopify and we're going to add it to Shopify, the UPC number, and that same number that we've been using, and then you're going to upload, you're going to link the A360 file, and then we're going to do renderings and all that. So again, we're going to go in. You're going to receive the drawing. I'm going to write a little bit about what your next assignment is. You're going to design the part to the size. So we have 3 different sizes of files. I want to make that clear. So when you go to Shopify, let's go to Shopify here, our storefront. Nope, not there. We're going to go, here's how it takes you out to the home page. If you go to the home page here, you'll come down and we have 3 different sizes. So we have 6mm, 10mm, and 20mm. I want you to focus on the 10mm. So if you click on this, it'll take you to our 10mm storefront. And so here's the 10mm tubing. We've got to start adding all the little lengths of tubing up here. But these are all already 10mm round. So I need you to work on just the 10mm stuff for the next couple months. And so this is all 10mm here. And so I need you to start adding all these parts and pricing and get all this. Keep me organized. I need to be organized. Okay? So keep me organized with all this 10mm stuff. But you're working on the internal connectors. So I need you to work on that same connector feature. So this is going to be on all of the connectors. I may say, just add this connector shape where it splits this apart. So when you put the tube on there, you're going to crank this screw in there and it'll split it apart, is the idea. And it holds it inside the tubing. And so when we go and look at the main assembly, we go back to this assembly right here. The idea is that we 3D print this and then we put a metal screw in here from McMaster-Carr and we open it up inside. There's no draft. It's not like a molded part. We're 3D printing everything. And then we design it and then you make a short drawing. So if I go back into my animation and I need to adjust this, I can go in here and start moving, and I can go to my top view and I can pull this out this way. I go OK, and I can repeat, and I can repeat that, and I can pull that out, and I say OK, and I repeat, and I can pull that out, and I can keep adjusting this, and then the drawings will update. So if things need to get clarified, your job is to make the exploded view look good, and then just give everybody some overall dimensions on the drawings. And then we'll have you put the drawing, a link of the drawing up on the website. And I can do that later. I can do a lot of the website work, but I need you modeling all this. All right, we'll end that now. Hello, this is Pat. Hi, Dan. Hey, I'm in the middle of something. I can't talk right now. Give me 2 months. Thanks.